in IAS 23, this interest is capitalized. They teach us in what situation the interest can be capitalized. So interest this is my interest, no? Can be expenses, can also be asset. So if it is expenses, then you just charge it as expenses. There is no standard to cover, because usually it's expenses. But if it is an asset, then it will be covered under IAS 23. So the interest become an asset. So when you are doing your IAS 16, if you want to capitalize your cost, remember, there are 4 things, right, to capitalize your cost. And then I told you the interest can be capitalized as cost. So the interest amount is referring to here in this situation, where you can capitalize it under cost, initial cost under IAS 16. So which interest can we capitalize? It says, maybe I can show you the period first. You go to page number 2 here. Let's say you borrow a loan. Okay, you borrow a loan here, and then let's say this loan is 8%, 8% loan. So you borrow the loan from the bank, but then you didn't use the money for the first month because you're not ready. So you're not using here. So you start to use the money to build your asset, to build is here. So we call that commence. So this is 1st January. So let's say the month of January, you didn't touch the money is all in your bank. Okay, you borrow the money, but you put the money in the bank. But anyway, the bank will still charge you the 8% interest rate because you already borrow. But you didn't utilize the loan. You only utilize the loan February. So you commence the construction. You start to build your asset. It's February. And then let's say you started to build and then you built for few months. Okay, so let's say you build until here. And then you stop building here. So when you stop building, we call it suspension. Maybe you got suspended because the government asked you to stop for a while. Maybe you got suspended because you don't have material. Maybe you got suspended because you don't have labor. Whatever reason, you just stop building for maybe 1-2 months like that. Okay. Then after that, you resume again and you build again. And then maybe you build until here, you stop, finish already. Okay. So when we finish, we call it cessation. Okay, can you see that the purple color period is the period that I'm doing the construction? Only in this period where you are doing the construction, the interest is an asset. The blue color period is a period where I didn't do the construction, but I got borrow the money. I borrow the money and then the bank will charge me interest every day. Also, they charge me the interest, right? But I didn't construct. So the interest that the bank charged me will be all expenses. Are you okay? So the purple color period is the period where you build. So you commence already, then you build. Then the government asks you to stop, then you suspend for a while, and then you build again until you finish the project. Okay. So the amount that you can capitalize as an asset, the interest that you can capitalize as an asset, actually is not much. It's only these 2 periods, small period. The rest of the year are all expenses. And subsequently, if you didn't pay off the loan, subsequently, the interest will continue to incur, right? It's all also expenses, cannot capitalize. So amount that capitalized is very short. So looking at this period, if you understand, we come back and look at the definition. it says borrowing costs can be capitalized, okay? When can you capitalize? When it is probable of economic benefit again, cost measure again. Don't you think this recognition is the same like 16 also? That means you will capitalize it if you think that the interest can help you to earn money. When can this interest help you to earn money is when you are building, when you are constructing the thing. So the interest on that time is go to the building. The interest charged at that time go inside the building. And this building can help you to earn money in the future, right? But if you are not constructing, so the interest doesn't go inside the building because you are not making the building, right? You are not building it. Are you okay? So only when you are constructing, the interest can go inside the building, become the interest, become the cost of the building. So that's why the recognition criteria will be the same as 16 now, because it will be capitalized under 16. So when can my interest become an asset? When it is under construction period. Okay, what if I buy a car and then I borrow money from the bank to buy a car, which is very common. A lot of us get a hire purchase, right? We hire purchase our car. So our car also I'll borrow money from the bank to buy. So the bank charge me interest. Can that interest be capitalized to the cost of the car? Can it become the cost of the car? Then I ask you, did you build the car? Did you construct the car? No, right? A lot of us here, we don't construct a car. We just buy it from outside. So the asset is not a qualifying asset. A qualifying asset is asset that you construct. Okay? Any asset that you buy from outside, like if you buy a house, you don't construct a house. You buy a house, you also borrow money to buy a house, then the house, there is an interest. That interest cannot be capitalized. You buy a car, the interest for the car cannot be capitalized. But if you build a house, you borrow money to build a house, then the interest, some portion can be capitalized. Or if you build a machine, you build it on your own, you don't buy it from outside, then you borrow money to build the machine, and then the interest can be capitalized, but also not the whole interest. It's not everything can be capitalized. It's only on the period where you are doing the building, the construction. No? Are you okay? Okay, the first thing we need to learn is the period. We already learned the period. That means which time can be capitalized, which time cannot. Okay. Okay, the second that we need to learn is the rate. This is number 2. What is the rate to capitalize? For example, if I want to build a house or I want to build a machine, I need a lot of money. So I go and borrow money. So let's say I borrow 8% loan. I can get this loan from Maybank. So Maybank, he lent me 5 million to build my machine. But 5 million is not enough. So I want to borrow some more from Maybank, more, but Maybank say cannot. Okay, so I can only lend you 5 million. So no choice, I go to another bank to borrow. So let's say I go to CIMB Bank. Can I borrow again? You ask CIMB Bank. So CIMB Bank said, I can lend you another 3 million. But the interest will be higher if you want to borrow from me because you are high risk. Because you already borrow so much. I can lend to you, but interest 9%. Are you okay? So this money, 8 million, you are going to build the machine, one machine, but from two set of loan. And then you want to capitalize the interest when you are building the machine. Should you take 8 million, should you take 8% or should you take 9%? Your interest will be 8% or 9% because the loan mix up already, right? How do you know which money is the 8% one, which money come from CIMB, which money come from Maybank? Normally you borrow the money, you put them into one account, right? You mix up the money already. So when you want to build the machine, then you take out a little bit and use. When you want to build, then you take out a little bit and use. So you actually don't know which money is from Maybank and which money is from CIMB, right? So are you going to use 8% or 9%? we are going to take average. We are going to take weighted average, not average. If average is 8 plus 9 divided by 2, we are going to weighted it, put a weight to it. So I ask you, these two loans, which one is heavier? You put a weight to the heavy one. Which one is heavy? More heavy. Heavier will be 5 million, right? That means you put more weight to the 8%. That means your answer come out will be nearer to the 8% because this loan is heavier, more. So the interest rate will be nearer to the 8%. So how do you form the formula? Is like this. You take 5 million divided by 8 million is all together. 5 million is divided by 8 million. This is your weight. Okay, then you multiply 8%. Yeah, you okay? So can you see you put heavy rate here? And then another loan, you only have 3 million. Total is 8, right? Can you see this weight is not so heavy? You put the weight not so heavy. So this one is 9%. The 8% you put heavier, and then 9% you put lesser. Okay, 3/8, 5/8. So you add up together and then you can get a weighted average. So if the question have two interests, true rate, we are going to take the weighted average. Can you calculate how much is this? So this one you get 0.05, right? This one you get 0.338, sorry, 0.03375. So if you convert it into percentage, about 8.4%. 8.4% is nearer to the 8 or nearer to the 9? Nearer to the 8, right? Correct. Because you put heavier on this loan, this 8% loan, you put heavier, so it's nearer to the 8, further from the 9. Okay, this is number 2. The first point we learn is the period. Which month I can capitalize, which month interest can become asset. The second is I need a percentage to calculate the interest, so 8.4 will be my percentage. Okay, number 3. Okay, when you calculate your interest to be capitalized, if you want your interest to become asset, okay, so you got the amount capitalized here. If this interest, if this loan manage to earn some income, you are going to minus out from the amount capitalized. Are you okay? If this loan manage to help you to earn some income, you're going to minus it. So what do you mean by this? Can I go back to my period there? Whatever you capitalize, you have to minus out any income that the loan can earn for you. Okay, you come back to here. I show you what I mean. Put rate. Okay, you see, you borrow this loan, 8% loan. You borrow the money. The first month, you don't build. So what do you do to the money? You just leave it in the bank, right? But the bank will earn some interest for you. So you will have some income, correct? So this income, you are going to charge it here, 1 month. Because that 1 month interest, the bank charge you, you put it under expenses. The 1 month, if you earn any interest from the bank, because you didn't use the money, you just leave it there. So the bank, you earn some income. The income, you put it to P&L as an income. Okay. Okay, you look at this purple color period. If this period, you capitalize the interest because you started to build, so you capitalize the interest. And sometimes it's like this, you borrow the money, you start to build, but did you use up all the money on the first day you built? Usually no, right? You slowly take out, slowly correct, and then take out the money and slowly use it, right? Correct. No? So maybe here you only use like a little bit, only 1% only of the loan. Then the rest of the money you put inside the bank. Got earn income, right? But the income, you won't charge it to income. You are going to minus from the asset. That means you are going to do this. This one, this formula here. If the interest the bank charge you, you want to capitalize, any income that you earn during that period, you won't charge as an income. You will minus from this asset here. It's not income, it's an asset minus. Are you okay? I come back to here. Okay, during the suspension period, you cannot capitalize because the government asks you to stop building. So you stop, everything stop. Interest also stop, cannot capitalize. So the interest become expenses, right? In this period, if you put the money in the bank, earn some interest received is a income. Because you don't capitalize, so the interest income is an income. And then after that, you continue again, the suspension got lifted up, the government said, okay, you can build already. Then you started to build again, and then you capitalize the interest again. And then let's say still got income, you minus from asset. And let's say after that, you finish building already, still got a little bit of money, you didn't use it, then you continue to earn income, then it will be income. Can or not? Which is very common. Sometimes we borrow money, we don't use up all the money. We will just leave it in the bank, correct or not? So the bank will give us some interest received. We are going to get some interest received. So what do you do to the interest received? Depends on whether you want to capitalize the interest expenses or not. If you capitalize it, you are going to minus from asset. If you don't capitalize it, you are going to charge to income. Are you okay? This is number 3. So this chapter only have 3 points. You remember these 3 points, you can calculate all the interest correctly. Okay, number 1 is which month you want to capitalize. Number 2 is the percentage you want to use to calculate the interest to be capitalized. Number 3, when you want to capitalize, you remember to minus the income that you earn in that capitalization period. Okay, these are the 3 things. So let's try some example. Let's say you go to question 1. Okay, we try some example. Okay, can you see that this question, there is 2 sets of loan add together. If I add them together, it's 340. Okay, first of all, I decide the period first. How many months I want to capitalize? How many months of the interest can become asset? So the company have the following loan in place throughout the 31st December 2008. So you borrow the loan, I think in the beginning here, you started to borrow. So you have 340 loan. 1st July, around here. So this must be 1st January. You take 50 million and use it to construct. Okay, so you take out 50 million and use. Then the rest you didn't use. So you didn't use, you are going to earn income 5%. If you didn't use, you put it in the bank is going to give you 5%. What is the amount capitalized? So this year is 31st December 2008. Okay, so this 1 year, I want to ask you, which month you want to capitalize, which month you don't want to capitalize. When did you start to build? July, you start to build, right? You borrow money is January, 340, but you didn't build at all. You didn't build until 1st July, you started to take out the money, 50 million, the first one, and you commence here. That means for the first 6 months, you are not building. Here, you are not doing anything. Just borrow the money and then leave the money in the bank. For the second 6 months, you start to build here. And you didn't stop until X9. You didn't stop at all, no suspension until next year, X9. So this year, how much you want to capitalize? How many months? It will be here, right? Here will be all asset. Here will be all expenses, right? So how many months capitalize? 6 months, correct? So I finished point number 1. I decided the period already, which is 6 months, the period. Okay, number 2. I got percentage here. I want to decide the percentage. The percentage, I got 2 loans. One is a 10%, one is a 8%. So I need to find weighted average. I don't know whether I'm to take 8 or I want to take 10. So I'm going to take weighted average. So can you do a weighted average for this loan? That's my number 2 to get the percentage. So which loan is heavier? I think the 200 is heavier. So the 8% will be heavier. Your answer later will be nearer to the 8% because you put more weight to the 8%. So I'm going to do the weighted average. So I take 200 divided by 340. This is my weight. This one is 8%. And then I'm going to do the 10%. This one I don't put so heavy. For the 10%, I don't put so heavy. It's only 140 divided by 340. And this one is the 10%. So can you weighted average it? So here you get about 0.047. This one you get 0.041. So your percentage is about 8.8. 8.8 is nearer to the 8%, right? Further away from the 10%, right? Correct. 10% is further away. Okay, this is number 2. You decided the period 6 months you want to capitalize, and you decided the percentage of interest you want to capitalize. Okay. Okay, what is number 3? Number 3 is talking about sometimes you don't use up the money, you don't use all the money to build, you will earn income because you got balance money on hand, right? So you will go and invest here and there, then you can earn a little bit small money, small income, correct? Okay, can you look at the first period here, the blue color period? The blue color period, I didn't use the money at all. The 340 is not used at all. So of course, all the money I put in the bank, I will earn 5% income. So that is the income. The interest will be an income. And then after that, I use up 50, I build my asset. I go and build it. So balance is how much? Can you take 340 minus 50? So you got another 290 here. You didn't use. What do you do to the 290? You didn't use it. That means you will invest, right? Unless you put it in your house, okay, then there is no interest. But as long as you put it in the bank will give you a little bit of interest, right? Correct. So I'm going to earn 5% for 6 months. 290 balance money, okay, 5% for 6 months will be like 7.25. This money, I'm going to minus from the asset that I capitalize here. Okay, now question asks you, what is the total amount capitalized? I want to calculate, okay? Interest to be capitalized. Let's calculate how much interest can I record as asset and then I charge to IAS 16 as cost. Okay, so this is my capitalized interest. I'm going to take 8.8%, calculate the loan. How much did you borrow? You borrow 340, the bank is going to charge you 340, right? But you want to capitalize how many months? 6 months only, correct? Start July until December. So that will be 14.96 million, correct? At the same time, this money 340, you didn't use everything. You only use 50 only, just a little bit. Okay, correct? And then you got a lot of extra, you go and invest and then got earn a lot of income. So the income you earn 5%. Okay, so it's 7.25 for 6 months also. So how much you want to capitalize? It's actually not much. Actually, the amount is not big. The amount that you can capitalize is not big. It's very small. Usually, most of the time, the expenses is the interest is the expenses. That amount will be very big. Interest expenses, interest asset, very small, because you don't construct for so long, right? Usually. Are you okay? Can I understand? So these are the three things: the period, the percentage, then after that, the income. How about the income I earn here? How about the income I earn in the blue color period? No, that one is not minus from the amount capitalized. That one you just charge it to P&L as interest received, like your normal interest received. Okay, we try one more question. Let's try question 2. Okay, so let's go to question 2. Can you calculate how much you want to capitalize? Okay, how much you want to record it as an asset again? So I draw the time frame. So you start 1st January 2006, you borrow 1.5 million. So how do you get 1.5 million? Can you add up asset A and asset B? He built 2 assets. So asset A, if you add up together, you need 500. Asset B, you need 1,000. So altogether, 1,005, 1.5 million. So you borrow the 1.5 million from one bank only, one bank. And then you build 2 assets. So one bank only charge you one interest, which is 9% here. Okay, so you no need to do weighted average interest because you only go to one bank and you only obtain one loan. Okay, so you just use 9%. So you start 1st January 2006, and then you use the money. Your loan is 1.5. Huh? So for asset A and asset B, for asset A, you use 50. And then the rest of the loan you use in 1st April 2006. then you use 450. For asset B, you use 200, left 800, 800 April, you use it until the end. So you are building for the whole year, you didn't stop. So you build from here all the way to here. So you didn't stop, and then the whole year also you capitalize. So the first thing we need to learn is the period. The period is 12 months. We are going to capitalize the whole 12 months. The second is the percentage. We are going to take 9%. Number 3 is the income. If you got extra money you didn't use, you put it in the bank give you 7% income. 7%. Can I straight away calculate amount capitalized? So I separate project A and project B different because I capitalize to project A is one amount and then I capitalize to project B is another amount, right? So it's separate. So let's do project A first. Okay, you borrow 500 for project A. That means you are going to charge interest 9% on 500. Whether you use or not, the bank don't know. The bank already lend you the money. The bank is going to charge you 9%, the interest. No? So 9% for 12 months. Okay, because you can capitalize the whole year because you are not stopping. You just continue to build. So you are going to capitalize 45, right? 45,000. But you earn income. How do you calculate the income? You see here. You borrow 500, first day you use up 50. So what is your balance? 450, right? Then you can invest from here to here. Because you got 500, you only use 50 only. So January until March, these 3 months in your bank, you got still have 450 inside your bank, right? So the 450 in the bank, you use it to earn income. And the income will be 7%. Okay, you earn the interest until March, and then April, you need the 450. You take out all the 450 and then you start to build. So any balance money in the bank becomes 0. So you got nothing to invest after April. January, February, March, these 3 months, you got 450 you can invest. After you use the second batch of money, you withdraw April, you take 450, right? Then after that, you got no more money to invest. So your income is only 3 months, 3 months period. So you minus out. So you calculate the net amount you capitalize. Can you do the same for project B? Calculate the same thing for project B. So did you take 9%? You borrow 1 million, right? Then you want to capitalize the whole year because you are building for the whole year, you didn't stop. So you capitalize 90. But then you did earn income because you only use 200. First day, you borrow 1 million, but you only use 200,000. No? So you still have a balance 800. Then you can invest. So you earn interest 7% on the 800 for 3 months. You minus out 40. So you got 76, okay, can.